Ever used Facebook, Wikipedia, or pretty much any blog running on WordPress? If you have, then you've come face to face with one of the web's most powerful yet kind of invisible forces, PHP. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on what this mysterious acronym really means and how it became the silent engine driving a massive chunk of the internet. Seriously, think about it for a sec. When you log into a website and it says, "Hey, welcome back," how does it do that? It seems like such a small thing, but that little piece of personalization is the absolute key to understanding why PHP is so important. It's the magic that makes the web feel like it was made just for you.
To really get PHP, we've got to take a quick trip back to the basics of how websites work. Imagine a website as one of two things. It could be like a fixed printed brochure. That's what we call a static site. Or it could be like a live conversation that's constantly changing and reacting to you. And that's a dynamic site. This is where PHP enters the picture. And trust me, the difference is a total game changer.
Okay, just look at this slide. On the left, you've got your basic HTML. That message, "Welcome guest," is locked in, it's set in stone, it's the same for absolutely everyone who visits. But on the right, see that little bit of PHP code? That's not text, it's a set of instructions. It's telling the server, "Hey, hold on, before you show this page, go find this specific user's name and stick it right here." And just like that, the web goes from a boring old page to a personal experience.
So what do we call this magic? Well, PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. And here's the crucial part. It's a server-side language. Think of it like a chef in a restaurant's kitchen. All the real work, the chopping, the cooking, the thinking, that all happens in the kitchen, which is the server. What finally gets delivered to your table, your browser, is the finished, delicious meal, the web page. Your browser doesn't have to cook. It just has to show you the food. So what really happens when you click on a link? Well, it sets off this secret, high-speed conversation between your browser and the website server. Let's actually trace the path of a single click to see how PHP works its magic in literally the blink of an eye. It all happens in 4 lightning-fast steps. 1, you click something. 2, the server over on the other side of the world wakes up, finds the right file, and runs the PHP code. 3, that code might quickly dash off to a database to grab your info. And 4, PHP builds a brand new, completely custom HTML page just for you and sends it flying back to your browser. It's a custom-built experience every single time. And this is where it all begins. See that echo command? That's pretty much the simplest instruction you can give in PHP. It's just telling the server, "Hey, print this out," or "I want you to say this." In this case, it's "Hello World." That's it. Super simple, right? But Hello World is just, the beginning. The real power of PHP gets unleashed when it stops talking and starts listening to what you do. So let's see how that simple echo command can be used to create an actual conversation.
So every conversation needs a starting point. On a website, that's usually a form, just like this one. When you type your name into a box and hit submit, you're basically packaging up that information and sending a message to the server. And you're addressing it to a specific file, in this case, welcome.php.
And here's the server on the other end, ready and waiting to listen. That welcome.php file uses a special PHP tool to catch the info you just sent. It then tucks your name away in a little temporary container, a variable called $username, and then uses Echo to craft that personalized greeting. And just like that, the website is talking directly back to you. This simple exchange, a form sending information and a script using that information, that is the fundamental building block of pretty much every interactive thing you do on the web. From a simple contact form to a complex social media feed, it all starts right here. But PHP's talents go way beyond just saying hello. It can be the bouncer at the club door using if/else logic to check if your password is correct. It can be librarian, connecting to a database to fetch your user profile. It can even be a factory assembly line, using loops to display hundreds of blog posts, one after the other. It's a true multitasker. Okay, so we've seen the how. Now let's zoom out and look at the where, because this simple but really powerful language isn't just some niche tool for hobbyists. It is a foundational piece of the entire modern internet. So let's talk scaled for a minute. PHP is the invisible engine behind a huge number of the sites you visit every day. A massive part of the reason why is WordPress. I mean, that platform runs a staggering chunk of the entire web, and it's all built on PHP. but it's also the backbone of countless online stores, forums, login systems, and even the APIs that the apps on your phone talk to. It's everywhere.
Now, developers are smart. They don't want to build everything from scratch every single time, so they use what are called frameworks. You can think of them as pre-made toolkits for building websites. Laravel is the big one right now. It's super popular. But there are a bunch of others, each with its own strengths, all designed to help developers build amazing, complex things way faster.
All right, so with all this power and all this history, what is PHP's place in the world today? It's a fair question. So let's take a quick, honest look at its strengths and some of the common criticisms you might hear thrown around.
So what's the verdict on PHP? Well, it's kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. On the one hand, it's super easy for beginners to learn, it has an absolutely massive community for support, and it's a total pro at talking to databases. But, like anything that's been around for a while, there's some old, clunky code out there that can be insecure, and if you're not careful, it can get messy. Plus, let's be real, it doesn't always have the same cool kid status as newer languages like Node.js or Python.
But here's the bottom line. PHP is a survivor and an absolute powerhouse. It's an approachable, really practical language that solved a huge problem, how to make the web dynamic, for millions of developers. It gave us WordPress, it gave us Wikipedia, heck, it gave us the original Facebook. It continues to power a massive portion of the internet that we all use every single day. So the next time you're browsing the web and a site greets you by name or shows you something that feels tailor-made, just pause for a second and ask yourself, is a server somewhere out there in the world literally writing this web page just for me right now? Chances are the answer is yes. And there's a very, very good chance that the language it's speaking is PHP.